My dear students, let us read through the decision-making set from XAT 2023. Aarti, CEO of an FMCG company, was under pressure from the Board of Governors to increase diversity in the workforce. The board wanted the company to hire candidates with vision impairment, as it believed that they contribute to organizations in many unique ways. So the board believes that they have their strength, that they can contribute to the organizations in many unique ways. So the board wanted company to hire such candidates with vision impairment, and that was the pressure on Aarti, the CEO of the FMCG company. CEO was apprehensive of hiring visually impaired candidates. She was not sure about the feasibility of accommodating them in the current environment of organization. Moreover, she was also unsure as to how the visually impaired could contribute meaningfully to the organization. She was apprehensive about it, unsure about it. And then there is a definition that is given that a person with the vision impairment in a range of 60 to 100% is referred to as visually impaired person. A person is with 100% vision impairment cannot see at all, but 60 to 100 implies that there are also visually impaired individuals who can see, though very little, but they can. Okay, so that is the initial setting of the question. Then the following arguments were presented to Aarti about the candidates with vision impairment. So there are 6 arguments that have been presented to Aarti about the candidates with vision impairment. First argument is visually impaired can do some activities better than the normal people and hence complement other employees. Second, visually impaired can motivate other employees to work harder. Third, visually impaired can act as a role model for other disadvantaged people in the society. Fourth, visually impaired can work harder to prove themselves. Fifth, hiring visually impaired people may enhance organization's reputation, which may consequently lead to better sales. And sixth, visually impaired have to be paid 20% extra salary. From the above arguments, which of the following options indicate that CEO's apprehensions are misplaced? So our question is, we have to find out those particular arguments which indicate that the apprehensions are misplaced, which justify the board of directors' decision to include visually impaired in the organization. First statement है visually impaired can do some activities better. So they are definitely better at some activities than the normal people. So they have some unique abilities. As was also mentioned by the board of directors. It was given that they can contribute to the organizations in their unique ways. So yes, they have some unique abilities. They can perform some activities better than the normal people and hence complement other employees. So there will be a complementarity with other employees and they have the unique abilities. So this is definitely implying that the apprehensions of the CEO are misplaced. First is definitely the part of the answer, and we can observe that first is part of all the options. Second, visually impaired can motivate other employees to work harder. So they will have a motivational impact. A positive impact in the organization, in the workforce. So second is also justifying the board of directors decision. Third, visually impaired can act as a role model for other disadvantaged people in the society. So they can act as a role model. So social perception जो है, that will improve. Societal perception, जो society का perception है, that can improve. So that is positive about it, about the third statement. Fine. Fourth, visually impaired can work harder to prove themselves. That is another that goes to visually impaired. They will work their heart out. They will work hard, make sure that they are proving themselves. So definitely this is also a good indication. So apprehensions that they will work harder. They are hard workers. So which is good for any organization to hire a hard worker. Fifth, hiring visually impaired people may enhance organization reputation, which may consequently lead to better sales. So if they hire visually impaired, this will enhance the reputation of the organization, and definitely if the organization's reputation is increased, that will consequently lead to better sales, better marketing, better sales, everything. So positive, definitely. Fifth is also positive. So all the above statements are positive. Last one is saying visually impaired have to be paid 20% extra salary. So this is a concern दिस इज कंसर्न, है कि नहीं, कि 20% एक्स्ट्रा पे करना पड़ेगा उनको. सो दिस इज समहाउ गोइंग विद द एप्रीहेंशंस ऑफ CEO कि उनको एक्स्ट्रा पे करना पड़ेगा. दिस शुड नॉट बी पार्ट ऑफ द आंसर. बाकी सारे पार्ट ऑफ द आंसर होंगे. 1 2 3 4 एंड 5. ऑप्शन C विल बी अवर आंसर. इज इट क्लियर? ठीक है, C इज द आंसर. 1 2 3 4 एंड 5. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. Aarti wanted to follow the suggestions given by the Board of Governors. Wanted to follow suggestions given by Board of Governors. However, she was not sure if the company was ready to accommodate candidates with 100% visual impairment. Not sure about it. So अब एक नया कंसर्न है उसका कि maybe the company is not ready to accommodate candidates with 100% visual impairment. Also, there was another concern of involving such employees in meaningful activities was constantly bothering her. So there are two concerns. First is to accommodate candidates with 100% visual impairment. And second is to involve visually impaired in meaningful activities. There are two concerns. And for that, she constituted a committee. To come up with the recommendations that would help the company in hiring 100% visually impaired employees. So focus कहाँ पे? Focus is in hiring 100% visually impaired employees. That is the main concern. After 2 months of deliberations, the committee came up with the following recommendations. The problem is 2 महीने तक deliberation किया इस चीज़ के लिए. Okay, so they took a detailed study probably, and after 2 months of deliberation, the committee came up with the following recommendations. First recommendation है hire visually impaired employees unconditionally as it is any company's social responsibility. Okay. Second is hire visually impaired employees in the activities they can contribute. Third recommendation is ensure visually impaired friendly office space, food court, restroom, parking, etc. And fourth is allow guide dogs to assist employees with 100% vision impairment in the office premises. Now the question is, which of the following options will best allay concerns as well as be fair to all stakeholders? So you have to choose those options, those particular actions, those particular recommendations which will allay the concerns. Allay यानी alleviate, यानी कि lessen the concerns. जो concerns हैं यानी कि 1 and 2, these are the concerns. तो ये जो concerns हैं हमारे ये lessen हो, कम हो जाए. पहली चीज तो ये है. Second thing is कि they should be fair to all stakeholders. Stakeholders कौन कौन से? Board of Governors है, CEO है, ठीक है. So these are the stakeholders. And lessening these concerns यानी कि accommodate कर पाए candidates को with 100% visual impairment and to involve them in meaningful activities. First recommendation है hire visually impaired employees unconditionally as it is any company's social responsibility. Unconditionally is a problem. Organization है, ठीक है, तो unconditionally तो नहीं employ कर सकते. There must be a reason for them. They must be fit to the organization, ठीक है, तभी उनको हायर किया जाना चाहिए. सो डेफिनेटली फर्स्ट इज नॉट पार्ट ऑफ द आंसर. फर्स्ट शुड नॉट बी पार्ट ऑफ द आंसर. तो ये तो क्लियर है बिकॉज अनकंडीशनली इज अ वेरी स्ट्रॉन्ग वर्ड एंड देयर शुड बी अ कंडीशन that is when the hiring should take place. Second is hire visually impaired employees in the activities they can contribute. Definitely this should be logically correct because ultimately वहीं पे hire किया जाना चाहिए where we are sure that they can contribute for those particular activities. They should be hired. Third, ensure visually impaired friendly office space, food court, restroom, parking, etc. So if you are hiring them to accommodate those candidates, because this was the first concern, so this third statement is addressing concern 1. This was addressing, second was addressing concern 2. Fourth, allow guide dogs to assist employees with 100% vision impairment in the office premises. So 100% vision impairment employees should be given guide dogs, should be allowed guide dogs to assist them. So yes, that is also addressing our concern number 1 only. To accommodate candidates, we need to do that as well. So concern number 1 is addressed by this. So definitely 2, 3 and 4 should be part of the answer and should lessen the concerns as well as be fair to all the stakeholders. Not a problematic. Option E is right. Okay, first hiring unconditionally will definitely not go neither with Aarti nor with the Board of Governors, because they also do not want unconditional employment to visually impaired candidates, but they are of the judgment that they can contribute in unique ways, so the company should utilize such visually impaired candidates. So definitely 2, 3 and 4 will be the perfect answer for this question. Clear? Okay. Next question पे चलते हैं. Suresh may be an employee or something. Suresh refuses to be served coffee by visually impaired baristas, but he does believe in donating to the visually impaired. So he refuses to be served coffee by visually impaired barista, but he does believe in donating to the visually impaired. The following statements could explain why Suresh does not want to be served by visually impaired baristas. First statement is, he thinks that visually impaired are inefficient at serving coffee. Second is, his parents have taught him to donate instead of accepting services from the challenged individuals. Challenged means visually impaired in this case. Third, he believes that his refusal to be accepted, to be served, will have adverse consequences. And fourth, he feels joyous amongst visually impaired, sharing his life and caring for them. Question is from the following, choose the option that best explains Suresh's biased behavior. Suresh का behavior is biased, definitely biased है, because he is refusing to be served the coffee by visually impaired baristas. But secondly, he also believes in donating to the visually impaired. So what can best explain his biased behavior? That should be our proper response. First is, he thinks that visually impaired are inefficient. So this is properly stereotyping the visually impaired, that they are inefficient at serving coffee. This could be one of the possible reasons. Could be that he believes so. So first could be possible answer, because this justifies his biased behavior. So first वाला justify तो कर रहा है, तो definitely first could be part of the answer. Second, his parents have taught him to donate instead of accepting services from challenged individuals. So it could be part of his upbringing, could be part of that his parents taught him to donate. So he should donate, but he should not accept services from challenged individuals. So could be part of the reason. Second is also justifying his biased behavior, consistent with the behavior that he has shown. Third, he believes that his refusal to be served will have adverse consequences. If third is accepted, what does that mean? He believes that his refusal to be served will have adverse consequences. So if that is so, that he believes that refusal to be served will have adverse consequences, why will he refuse then? Why will he refuse? तो ये तो contradictory बात कर रहा है कि refuse क्यों करेगा फिर उस केस में? If he knows that refusal will have adverse consequences, he will not refuse. So this is not justifying biased behavior. Third is definitely not justifying the biased behavior. Quite the opposite instead. If he believes that refusal to be served will have adverse consequences, then he will not have refused. Fourth, he feels joyous amongst visually impaired, sharing his life and caring for them. So if he feels joyous, so probably this is in contrast to what he is doing, because he is actually refusing to be served coffee by visually impaired barista, but he feels joyous amongst visually impaired, sharing his life and caring for them. So this is in contrast, in conflict with the biased behavior. Definitely not justifying, because the fourth statement is saying something else, and the initial statement that he refuses to be served coffee is something else, so not justifying for sure. Third and fourth are not justifying, first and second are justifying. Option A will be the answer, 1 and 2 only. Clear? Okay. So that's all for this set. अगर सेशन पसंद आया है तो इसको लाइक जरूर कीजिएगा. अगर किसी क्वेश्चन में डाउट है तो यू कैन ऑलवेज आस्क. That's all for this session. Bye-bye.